Varun performed in Chaumahalla Palace last year, that is December 2015, it was nothing short of a miracle. The miracle I believed on that day of December in 2015. Varun was born in 1998, a very healthy baby, and we ticked off all the boxes that the doctors had. And till Pranav came along, our second child, in 2000, we did not know that there was a problem with Varun. By 2001, it was evident that Varun wasn't speaking and there seems to be something going wrong. By 2002, I did some research on the internet and I found out that Varun probably had autism. My pediatrician did not agree with me, but finally we had to call it autism, even though I didn't want to call it at that point in time. And eventually we found a school for Varun, and it was the joy of finding a very good preschool for Varun was not long lasted. It just lasted a few months where we got a call from school and they told us that Varun cannot be in school because he's a special child. He's very hyperactive. He doesn't communicate yet, so he needs to leave school. So I did not know where to go. I went to few schools and most of the schools pitied me and told me, "Oh, sorry to hear about your son, but we don't have a seat for you." I was working in the IT and I went back, to find an opportunity abroad. I was lucky enough to find an opportunity. I went to the UK in around 2004 and Varun started going to school in the UK with the help of a full-time support. Varun did very well in school till 2007, and in the process of these 2 or 3 years, we found out that Varun was hyperlexic. Hyperlexia is a condition where children are gifted readers, and Varun started reading much before I realized that he was reading. So by the time he was 4 or 5, Varun learned more than 20 languages. He was reading and writing more than 20 languages. Most of the Indian languages by then. And after we moved to the UK, he started learning probably Russian, Greek, all kinds of languages. I lost count. And we started using his languages as motivation for teaching him other subjects in school. He did very well in school, and by the time it was 2007, we decided to move back to India. Our family was here, our family support was here, so I wanted to be with my family and we moved back to India in 2007. Varun got an admission in a very good school in Hyderabad, and again the time he spent in that school was very short because the teachers in that school did not know how to keep him in the classroom. He was very different. He was different from the rest of his classmates. So the teachers struggled to keep him in the classroom. I joined the school as a teacher and I ended up teaching him in the school. Then I decided if I was going to teach him in the school, I would rather teach him at home. Why should I go to school with Varun and teach him at school? So we decided to pull him out of school in 2008. And that's the birth of Ananya. We started Ananya, a learning center for children with special needs or children who are different, who learn differently. And I did not want to call it a school because it was not a school. There was no one formula that is going to work for all children in Ananya. So every child who comes to Ananya can learn in the way they can learn. So that's how we started working in Ananya. And along with Ananya, Varun also started learning music. So his first initiation into music happened in 2008 with Mrs. Kamla, his first music teacher, to Carnatic music. And Mrs. Kamla told me, I remember when I spoke to her on the phone, that Madhavi, Carnatic classical is very difficult. Since Varun is a special child, it could be difficult for him to learn. I said, Mrs. Kamla, can we try? Can we just try for some time and see if it works for Varun? She said, yes, Madhavi, we can try. So after 2 days of classes, after the first week, that she said twice a week. After the first week, I got a call from Mrs. Kamla and she told me, that Madhavi, can you send Varun for 5 days a week? Because he's too good. So that's the first time when I got a call from Varun's teacher. It was not a concern, it was not a problem. It was for something good. So I really jumped with joy and said, yes, he really does music well. So that's how his journey with music started in 2008. And by 2015, Varun had spent so many years and we changed certain things about his music and he really started enjoying music. I did not have to ask him to learn music. He would ask me, can I go to music class? Do I have music class today? If the teacher is on leave, he would ask me, can you call and find out when she is going to come back? You know? And before Varun spoke, he started singing. So that was amazing. That was amazing initiation into music for Varun. So by 2015, he won the award which was given by Panditji himself. He sang in front of Pandit Jasraj and he won Pandit Jasraj award for upcoming talent in Hindustani music. It was nothing short of a miracle for us. And Panditji himself selected his voice for performing on stage. So that was awesome. So by 2015-16, Varun outgrew Ananya and I had to start something for his vocation. What is Varun going to do after he finishes school? For me, finishing school doesn't mean passing exams, doesn't mean getting a 10th class certificate. For me, finishing school means he's supposed to learn whatever he can learn by the age of 15 and he needs to move out of school and do something that he can after 16. Usually something related to a job. What will a young, talented person, even though he has special needs, what will he do for the rest of his life for a living? What will he do when he wakes up in the morning for a job? So I wanted to find another organization which will support children like Varun who can learn at their own pace. It's called Sattva. Sattva is a Lifeskills and Vocational Skills Center where children can come and learn job-related skills. What next? One question that always bothers me as a mother is, what after me? Where will Varun live after me? Will he be dependent on Pranav for the rest of his life? Will he hold Pranav back? Will Pranav be able to fly as much as he wants? Will Varun weigh him down? That was the fear that I always have as a mother. So we wanted to start something where Varun can live in a safe environment and children like Varun can live. So the plan is to start a group home by 2020 where children like Varun or young adults like Varun will live. And the name we thought of was Nilaya. It's in the process. And the main purpose, the main talk for this evening, the main idea for this evening is neurodiversity. Why don't we embrace neurodiversity? Why do we always think that something that is not normal is a problem? Why do we need to fix everything that is not normal? I've been living with a person who is not normal, in double quotes, Varun, and I don't see any difference in Varun and Pranav. Thank God I have another child, Pranav, who kind of brings in a lot of scope for me to understand Varun better. They're just 1 year apart, so they behave so much similarly. Except Varun has a diagnosis of autism and Pranav doesn't have a diagnosis of autism. But he's a 17-year-old and Pranav is a 16-year-old and they behave more or less the same way. So why do we have to be normal? Why does one has to be normal and why do we fear something that is abnormal or different? I think we as parents fear something that is abnormal or different because we don't know what to do with something that is different. There are no schools, there are no degrees that are available for people who are different. And if you are just one and if you are just different, then where will you go? The schools will not take. So parents have to really go to a lot of problems in finding what career that child is going to take up. Where is he going to go to university? Will he go to university? Will he like somebody? Will he ever get married? So these are the questions that will never get unanswered. I think so is the question I have as a parent with Pranav too. What is he going to do after 10 years? Where will he going to end up? Where will he be? How much money will he make? I really don't know. Only thing I know as on today is he's doing well today. I'm sure if his today is well, his tomorrow will be well too. So coming back to neurodiversity, We as a society are always against neurodiversity. We want to put intelligence always in two boxes, normal and abnormal. If it is abnormal, it is bad. If it is normal, it is good. For me, living with Varun for the last 18 years, I've experienced the so-called abnormal side of intelligence according to the books. For me, normal is boring, normal is predictable, normal is easy, normal is mediocre, normal is unappealing, and normal is ordinary. I always like challenges in my life. Thank God I got a child like Varun where I could do things differently. He doesn't have to go to school. He doesn't need to pass 10th. He doesn't need to go to IIT coaching or medical coaching. I don't have to do the same thing that all the parents have been doing. For me, abnormal or atypical has been something that is different and amazingly different and wonderfully different. Varun doesn't have to go to school. Varun can do music. He loves music. So full day he does music. Morning to evening he does music. He doesn't have to do assignments. He doesn't need to please his teachers. And he doesn't do music to please anybody. He does music for himself. So I'd like to play a 1-minute clip of Varun. Before that, I'll tell you how long was the journey from the time he was diagnosed till now. Varun was diagnosed around 3 years with his ASD, and now he's 17, so that makes it 14 years. Till about 6 years, Varun was non-verbal. And I was dying to hear him call me Amma. It took about 4 years for me to call me Amma, but he started singing before he called me Amma. And now, last year when he performed in Chowmahalla Palace, nobody would believe ever that he spoke at 7 years of age, because the way he pronounces Sanskrit and Hindi now is mind-boggling. And he performed in front of such noisy, open-air crowd, and he did not move a millimeter. He was so focused on his performance. So that is different for me. Here, Varun's performance. I would like to leave this talk with a few ending thoughts. I always looked at special children as designer children, children who are specially designed by God and they're sent to us. And only very lucky few parents get designer children. When we can be so proud of our designer jewelry, designer watches, designer cars that we drive, why can't we be proud of our designer children who are only one of a kind, maybe 1 in 1,000, 1 in hundreds? Why do we hide our designer children inside our houses, and why don't we flaunt them as we flaunt our designer possessions? I think the day we flaunt our designer children, like we flaunt our designer possessions, that is when the true aspect of neurodiversity comes out in society. I think we need to accept them truly. We should not forget that they're designer. That's another way of looking at it. For me, Varun has been truly designer. Varun always comes whenever he wants to come, that is. I don't insist that he comes with me. He comes whenever he wants to come to all the social occasions. We never try to, keep him away from the crowds. And I request all the parents, the more the children are seen outside, the more they will be accepted. The more we hide them, the more they're enigmatic and the more probably people are going to stare at them. I would request parents to accept their children fully, not try to fix them, but accept them. I think what we need is acceptance of neurodiversity, not fixing and trying to make them normal. So this world definitely needs all kinds of people, as Temple Grandin says, all kinds of minds. Thank you.